So I read that you were kind of involved in instigating the project a bit with your wife, who's your producing partner, I
Yeah.
believe. What drew you to a director like Jacques Audiard, who's not necessarily the guy that I would think of first for like a kind of comic western?
Yeah. Well, we weren't looking for a director to direct a western. You know, the story takes place in the West, and there's definitely all the talismans of great westerns like horses and whiskey and guns. But it's really the story of two brothers
Yeah.
and the family bond and the trauma of their childhood and their aspirations for the future. You know, what are these guys gonna do who spent their lives murdering people? Like, it's not a long-term career plan,
Yeah.
as it were. So, yeah. So Jacques is just one of the greatest filmmakers in the world, and we were just aiming really high in the first place, looking for a great filmmaker to make a really personal film who would take this source material and turn it into something that was personally meaningful for them. And then once you actually get into the actual historical record of the era and some of the details in Patrick DeWitt's book, you realize a European is the perfect person to tell this story
Yeah.
because the American West of the 1850s was full of Europeans and, you know, Russians and Chinese and all kinds of people from all over the world. So it was a real melting pot moment and a very transformational moment for America. So we thought that was a great way to avoid some of the cliches of westerns of the past by, you know, having someone who would have this sort of an outsider's view at it. And look at it just more like a period piece than a western based on other westerns. You know.
How was your dynamic with Joaquin Phoenix? Because I found that you guys had really, really good chemistry as brothers.
Well, we love each other, you know. We came to really love each other, and it took work. It took a lot of time spent together. It took a lot of trust and vulnerability, you know, over the time. And when we first met, Joaquin and I could barely make eye contact. We're both, yeah, we were just kind of shy. Like, we're both sort of sensitive people in our own way, and we realized we had this enormous task ahead of us to be as close as these brothers were. So we just started to spend time together, and then we started to live together. We drove to work together. We'd cook dinner for each other.
Nice.
And so by the end of it, like, I really do have a deep love for Joaquin and even more respect than I had for him before I knew him.
Well, you can tell with the movie. One of the things that I really like about your performances in general, especially in this movie, though, is that you have this thing where you can be funny at the same time, though, kind of sad, like a lot of pathos. And I mean, the stuff with you and the horse almost made me cry, you know. And it's just, how do you do that though as an actor? Like, what's your process in order to just kind of never play anything like too much as a comedy? Like, just it always kind of pulls back a bit.
Well, I just think that's the way
Hard to
life.
articulate for me.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean because oftentimes I see in things, sometimes people choose one or the other, happy or sad. And my experience with life is, you know, I've been at funerals where I've had some amazing laughter moments, or, you know, I've had great days of joy that were tempered by, you know, something sad happening. That's just the way life is.
Yeah.
To me, that's being honest about life. So whenever I try to play a part in a movie, I think of it as like not letting the audience off the hook.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing something that's funny, just remind people that it's also real, that this is not just a joke. And if something's dramatic or tragic, it's good to remind people, like, well, there's always a light side to the dark cloud, you know? I think that's just an honest take on life. That's the way I experience life anyway. So it's a mixed bag.
Well, thank you very much, and I love the
Yeah,
music.
my pleasure.
Thanks.
Run from me, dog.
And we got his foul blood in our veins. That was his gift to us. That blood, that's why we're good at what we do.
Charlie, when you kill a man, you end up with his father or his friends on your tail. It usually ends badly.
We finish this last job and then part ways.
We've had a good long run. We're still alive. It's a chance to get out.
You're forgetting something. We're the Sisters Brothers, and we finish the job. Everything's changed so much.
Nothing's changed. You're my little brother. I love you.
You better run for your life.